China's foreign minister has been replaced. Qin Gang has stepped down and Wang Yi has been appointed, but the reasons behind this change haven't been made clear. Everyone is speculating about the reasons for Qin Gang's disappearance. After all, the position of China's foreign minister is highly coveted as it allows one to engage in lively discussions with countries around the world and even have close encounters with giant pandas. Qin Gang was the youngest foreign minister China has had in nearly half a century. Moreover, he was appointed as ambassador to the United States without having been stationed there before, which was quite a direct path to such a prestigious position. However, Qin Gang is an experienced diplomat who has served in London 3 times, so he is not someone to be taken lightly. Just look at his fiery demeanor when he was the spokesperson for the foreign ministry in the past. Journalists had to be cautious in his presence, fearing they might get burned by his words. This personnel change is considered a rare scene after the 20th National Congress of the Chinese Communist Party. Qin Gang served as foreign minister for the shortest period since the party's establishment. This former foreign minister was adept at maneuvering on the diplomatic stage. One moment he would be dealing with the United States, and the next he would be sharing mooncakes with students. This was a true charm offensive, and he even managed to ride a tractor, impressing and surprising the Americans. However, his charm offensive was unable to ease tensions in Sino-US relations. To be honest, Qin Gang was indeed a capable assistant to Chinese President Xi Jinping. Accompanying him on foreign visits, preparing for the G20 summit, their relationship was extraordinary. Speaking of which, I can't help but wonder if Qin Gang voluntarily stepped down in order to align with President Xi's policies and silently make sacrifices. In any case, gossip in the Chinese political circle is always abundant, and every personnel change triggers a wave of speculation. Now that Qin Gang has stepped down, who knows if the next change will bring another thrilling episode of Who Will Be the Foreign Minister? We'll have to wait and see. Mercedes-Benz CEO Ola Kalenius claims that China will be the primary market for their newly developed electric cars. Yes, the luxury car brand Mercedes-Benz. They are now preparing to step out of their comfort zone and abandon their long-standing presence in the fossil fuel car industry to fully enter the electric vehicle market. But where do they plan to launch this big initiative? In China. You might ask, why? The reason is quite simple. They see the enormous market potential in China. While people around the world talk about environmental protection, it is only in China where you can see that half of the new cars on the road are electric. Now, let me imagine Mercedes-Benz CEO Ola Kalenius saying at a company meeting, "Ladies and gentlemen, we need to sell more electric cars. So we must go to China." It sounds normal, right? But let me tell you, he has indeed found the right target. It's like selling chocolate to a group of chocolate enthusiasts. Undoubtedly, the result will be very sweet. But speaking of which, Mercedes-Benz is a renowned luxury car brand, and their decision to enter the electric car market is like your serious old dad suddenly deciding to throw an electronic music party. You might feel confused, but you also want to see how he will perform. However, they also have to face some realities. In China, local brands like BYD already hold an 81% market share, surpassing well-known brands like Tesla. It's like entering a race and realizing that your competitors are already 3 laps ahead. But don't worry, after all, this is Mercedes-Benz. They started with running, and if anyone can catch up, it will be them. What's most interesting is that Mercedes-Benz's 2 major shareholders are already Beijing Automotive Group and Li Shufu, the founder of Geely Auto. It's like walking into your home and finding out that your parents have been taken over by your neighbors. But what can you do? You can only accept it and try to get more pocket money from them. Overall, seeing the Germans trying to enter the electric car market is like seeing your teacher trying to join a trampoline competition. You know there might be some stumbling and even some awkward falls, but you still want to watch because you know it could be very entertaining. So, everyone, let's see how Mercedes-Benz challenges the status quo in the electric car market, changes the game, and let's look forward to their performance. 2 Chinese e-commerce giants are currently facing off in the United States in a legal battle. Temu and Shein, like 2 boxers with the Chinese-style e-commerce dream, are having a blast in the American business arena. One moment, they are suing each other, and the next moment, they are counter-suing. It's like watching a soap opera unfold. I can't help but think that if they were characters in an American legal drama like Suits, the writers wouldn't have to worry about conflicting storylines. These 2 e-commerce giants, Temu and Shein, originally had their own strengths, like 2 heads of a dragon. One focused on daily necessities, while the other was passionate about women's clothing. They could have coexisted peacefully, but now they have set their sights on each other's territory in order to get a piece of the pie. But you see, when money is involved, people can turn into ravenous creatures, just like a glutton seeing chocolate. One significant reason these two companies are so dominant in the US market is the de minimis tax exemption rule, which allows for duty-free importation of goods worth up to $800 per day. It's like having a small goal where you can walk out of a supermarket every day with $800 worth of goods without paying a cent. While many might think this rule is great, have you ever considered how you would feel if someone took away $800 worth of your goods every day? American businesses must be devastated. However, this rule has also presented a great opportunity for Chinese-style e-commerce companies. They are like savvy students who know about this rule in the US and cleverly make use of it. It's like being in school, where you know which classroom has the least guarded test papers, and naturally, you would go there to borrow one. So, these two companies, relying on this rule, are like using a magical key to open the hearts of American consumers. Moreover, Chinese-style e-commerce companies have come up with a roundabout solution. They set up warehouses in Canada or Mexico, the neighboring countries of the United States, and pack the goods into large boxes. These boxes are then shipped by air or sea to these countries and sent out through postal or logistics companies. It's like when you're taking a test, and you know there's a question you can't answer, so you skip it and come back to it in the final minutes of the exam. This ensures that your test paper is one of the last ones submitted, and when the teacher checks it, your paper is at the bottom, so they might not scrutinize it as strictly. However, all of this is based on the premise of the asset-light model of Chinese-style e-commerce companies. They can enter the market lightly, focusing on what they are good at, without having to worry about cumbersome issues like delivery and warehousing. It's like going out to eat, where you can just enjoy the food without worrying about the cooking process in the kitchen. However, as the market evolves, these Chinese-style e-commerce companies have also realized that they need their own logistics channels and warehouses. They need to have some heavy assets. It's like when you're in school, you may find math difficult and not want to learn it, but when you have to take a college entrance exam, you must face this problem, and you need to overcome this difficulty on your own. So now, Chinese-style e-commerce companies are like standing at a crossroads, with one side being the familiar asset-light model and the other side being the unknown heavy asset model. They need to make a choice. Regardless, as ordinary people, seeing the two giants fighting each other, we can't help but feel a bit of schadenfreude. At least this ensures that we will have more choices and more discounts in our future shopping experiences. It's a benefit of watching the show, so to speak. Australia is currently hosting a joint military exercise called Guardian Knife, and interestingly, the Chinese Navy is also there as a guest. Chinese Dongdiao-class ships are patrolling there, like participating in a maritime version of a motorcycle show, except their exhibits are electronic surveillance and missile tracking. It's pretty cool. Australia sent a P-8 surveillance plane to say hello, which feels like attending a social event. However, I'm not sure if they used radio or WeChat to greet each other. How polite of them. It seems we still have a good understanding of social etiquette, don't we? Then the Australian military said, they are collecting some information. We will make some adjustments, but we won't disclose sensitive information. Yes, we need to keep some secrets for ourselves, they can't just take them away so easily. Then they also said, the Chinese ships may go to the northernmost part of Australia, but the possibility is low. This reminds me of my mom always telling me in the morning, you may meet your true love today, but the possibility is low. The Guardian Knife military exercise has expanded to 13 countries, with over 30,000 military personnel participating. In general, this is a party where everyone is observing each other, greeting each other, and secretly collecting intelligence. This scene reminds me of a high school reunion, where everyone is trying to show off their coolness but also worried that others will discover their little secrets. Regarding sensitive domestic political issues such as the Fukushima wastewater discharge and THAAD deployment, China is trying to manipulate over 30 Korean exchange students and ethnic Korean groups to steer public opinion in a direction favorable to their own country. South Korean government sources stated on the 23rd that the true intention behind China's espionage activities is to divide the South Korea-US alliance and incite division in public opinion. On the 23rd, U.S. Secretary of State Blinken stated that the United States is trying to strengthen some form of stable relationship with China, ensuring that the competition between the two countries does not turn into conflict. He also mentioned that conflict would not be in the interest of us, them, or anyone else. Blinken visited China last month, becoming the first U.S. Secretary of State to visit China in 5 years and the highest-ranking U.S. official to visit China since President Biden took office. As a key driving force behind China's GDP, the real estate industry's debt crisis has punctured the accumulation of inflated growth underneath China's rapid development. When the speed of economic growth fails to meet the expectations of the people towards the government, the suppression of human rights by the regime will no longer be able to be concealed. Open black lens bracket Chinese-American detective Li Chongyu may face huge compensation due to evidence error in an old case. Close black lens bracket. A federal judge in Connecticut ruled on the 21st of this month that Li Chongyu, a Chinese-American detective, had a responsibility for fabricating evidence in a murder case that occurred in 1985. 2 defendants were imprisoned for over 30 years based on the evidence provided by Li Chongyu, which claimed to have found a stained towel in the bathroom of one of the defendants and concluded it had bloodstains after testing. However, it was later proven that the stains were not bloodstains. As a result, Li Chongyu may face substantial compensation. Open black lens bracket. Beijing travel agency promotes tours to North Korea. Close black lens bracket. According to reports from the Korean news agency, the Youth Pioneer Travel Agency, which has an office in Beijing, recently launched advertisements on its official website for tour packages to Mount Baekdu and Sinwiju in North Korea from July to August. August tours, such as Pyongyang University group performances and visits to the demilitarized zone, can also be booked on the official website. However, insiders say that North Korea has not reopened its borders due to the COVID-19 pandemic, making the possibility of resuming tourism extremely low. Open black lens bracket. Japan's export restrictions on advanced semiconductor manufacturing equipment officially take effect. Close black lens bracket. Japan's export restrictions on advanced semiconductor manufacturing equipment came into effect on July 23. Although the measures did not explicitly name China as the specific country subject to restrictions, it is evident that the aim is to prevent China's military use of advanced semiconductor-related products and raise the export threshold to China. According to Kyodo News, this is consistent with efforts led by the United States to prevent China from developing high-end semiconductors that could be used for military purposes. Open black lens bracket. G7 and other countries urge China to prevent North Korea from evading sanctions. Close black lens bracket. On the 21st, British media reported that the Group of 7, G7, the European Union, and 3 countries, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea, jointly called on China to prevent North Korea from using Chinese territorial waters to evade United Nations sanctions. In a letter to China's permanent representative to the United Nations, Zhang Jun, they expressed concern over the presence of multiple tankers in China's Sansha Bay, which serve as a haven and assist North Korea in trading sanctioned petroleum products. Recently, Bon, a senior foreign policy advisor to French President Emmanuel Macron, stated that China is providing Russia with certain items that can be used as military equipment, although the scale is not significant. There are indications that they are doing things we do not want them to do. U.S. media quoted French officials as saying that Bon was referring to dual-use military-civilian technologies such as helmets and body armor, as well as non-lethal assistance. Open black lens bracket. Retired Canadian police officer accused of providing illegal assistance to China. Close black lens bracket. On the 21st, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police stated in a statement that William Majker, a 60-year-old retired Canadian police officer with a background in Hong Kong, is suspected of using his established network in Canada to obtain intelligence or provide services for China's benefit. The statement mentioned that these allegations are based on an investigation that began at the end of 2021. In the fall of 2023, tuition fees at many universities will see a wave of increases. Sichuan, Jilin, Shanghai, and Shandong have successively announced adjustments to the tuition fees for undergraduate and postgraduate programs at public universities, which will be implemented starting from the fall semester of 2023. The increase ranges from 20% to 40%, mostly exceeding 5,000 yuan, with some STEM majors experiencing a high increase of up to 54%. Hello everyone, I'm your news anchor, Yali. We are here every day to provide you with a one-stop service for Chinese news. Feel free to leave comments in the comment section, and we will carefully read and respond to your comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode. Take care everyone.